all my kinds of music. I like jazz too. I like blues naturally.
Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Getting washed out here, I think. It's a little too bright. Hey, the Shonen in a Box. How you doing? Happy Wednesday, bro. Good. I'm glad you're doing good. All right, welcome in, everyone. My name is Angelina Tucci. We got a great stream coming up today. We're going to be having, first off, JOZ SIDA at noon to talk about Fontanna city politics, to talk about the crazy kind of corruption that's been happening there. So we got a lot of good stuff. I got to turn down this light. I am like too washed out. All right, there we go. I don't know, still looks not that great, but it's better. Okay, now just seeing what it looks like on my better screen. Okay, let me first and foremost, let's get into this Curt Hagman stuff. Just to briefly. Oh no, there was no updates. He just posted on his Instagram. Okay, we're gonna go to Instagram. All right. Oh yeah, and then special later today, if we can make it. I think we can. I'll try to. We got Worker Power Hour. We got Thomas, Corrigan, Corey, Rose, sorry, and some new people that are going to show up on the Worker Power Hour. So that's pretty cool. Okay, hold on. Bro, come on. Close the ad block. Alright, we need to get this guy on. Kamal for Fontanna City Treasure. Hold on. Curt Hagman. All right. Let me turn off the music here, and then yeah, we're just gonna read this real quick and wait for JOZ to come in. Oh, did he not post it? Okay, here we go. Pause. All right. So, statement from Supervisor Curt Hagman. I was among several individuals served with federal search warrants as part of an ongoing investigation. No charge has been filed against me. Interesting that he would point that out. Because this is an active matter, I am limited in what I can responsibly say. While I do not believe I have done anything that warrants stepping back from my duties as county supervisor, I recognize that the attention surrounding this matter has a potential to distract from the important work of the county and the organizations I have been privileged to serve. That's right, brother. It is a privilege to serve. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like he's been abusing that a little bit, but we'll find out together. For that reason, I have decided to temporarily reduce my involvement in certain appointed boards, committees, and commissions so they can continue their important work without unnecessary distraction. Serving the residents of San Bernardino County is the greatest honor of my life, and I remain fully committed to fulfilling the responsibilities the voters entrusted me to perform. I'm deeply grateful for the many messages of encouragement and support I have received from constituents, colleagues, friends, and community members. I respectfully ask that the public allow the investigative process to run its course, and I will provide additional information if and when it is appropriate to do so. So yeah, it was just a whole lot of nothing. He just basically said, hey, I'm under investigation. I'm going to step back from my duties because it looks bad. So yeah, he released that last night. Oh damn, hold on. My Instagram short did not upload, did it? Oh, it's still uploading. Okay. Let me go off of the Wi-Fi. So yeah, Curt Hagman, I don't know, buddy. I really do not know what is going on. We're gonna have to look into damn, this breaks my heart. You got Kathleen Brennan right there campaigning for him. Oh, other Teamsters too. So many Teamsters that campaigned for Curt Hagman. And it's like, damn, what did you do, brother? What did you do? But like, I don't know, man. We have to look into his one friend, the guy in Ontario City Council. Speaking of which, I need to respond back to the kid, or I shouldn't say kid. His name is Ontario. His name's not Ontario. Ontario City election. He is running for mayor. Okay. Okay, well, whatever. We'll have it. Ontario mayoral election. Okay, so right now Paul Leon is the current mayor. All right, finally my short uploaded. Okay, cool. So now people know to hop in. So yeah, let's see. Municipal elections in Ontario will be held October 26, 2026. Voters in the no, not the Canada, Ontario. Not the Canada, Ontario, California. Jesus. Yes, cheese and rice. Sorry, so sorry. So sorry. So sorry. Yeah, see, the Ontario Canadian is coming out in me. All right, so anyways, we'll just go to his page. Okay. Whatever. Let me get myself together. You would think I'd never streamed before. I just want to see the people who's running for okay. Ontario mayor. This is the guy that's oh my god. Wait, this is the current Ontario mayor? No, this is not.
Upland, Ontario resident, graduated from Chaffee High School. There's never been a better mayor in the entire lifetime of Ontario than Paul Leon. Please get out and vote. It is very important this year. There are so
okay. All right. So anyways, this is the current Alan Warpner, homie, was the one that also got, caught up in the investigation. And then Paul Leon is the mayor, but we kind of don't trust him. I don't know. Is that him with, no, I thought that was him with Curt Hagman. That would have been hilarious, but yeah. So we'll be looking into this later. Let me just follow. Of course, Curt Hagman follows him, and also Aquanetta Warren. Birds of a feather, am I right? Okay. Hold on. Not notifications, bro. And I see. Here we go. Nicolo, that's his name. He's running for mayor, and I need to get back to him about getting onto the stream. But here he is.
Full Alama, candidate for mayor in City of Ontario, and this is Speaking with Ontario. I'm here with Axel Lara, owner of Key Fixon, and we're going to interview him and ask him a few questions about being a small business owner. So Axel, how does it feel being a young small business owner here in Ontario?
I think being a small business owner here in Ontario is just gives you a lot of opportunity, especially because of how diverse the city is. You just have the ability to connect with your own people and people that are different than you because of that diversity. And I think for small business owners like us, it's a very good place to grow.
What is the hardest thing of being a small business owner here in Ontario?
I think some of the hardest things being a business owner here in Ontario is like the rise and prices and the rise to do business,
that's for
because
sure.
especially like us, we're a mobile service. We pay a lot in gas, so like things like that, and then things to do business, the cost is just rising overall, so it's making business harder for us.
How can Ontario help you strive as a small business?
I think Ontario needs to focus more on us small business owners, especially
Yeah.
because I see when I go out in Ontario, I see like a lot of like warehouses, and I see like just large scale
So many
business.
warehouses.
And I think it'd be
So
more
many
beneficial to focus
warehouses.
on the small business owners, like the people who actually matter. Because even though these businesses, these warehouses will bring in a lot of money and, to the economy,
I don't
we
think
need
they
to help
will.
the people in our neighborhoods and just us small business owners, basically. I feel like that would be more beneficial to our society.
Well, thank you so much, Axel. And how can people support your business?
You can find us here at the Macklin Open Air Summit or at fixand.locksmith on Instagram.
Nice.
So,
Okay. So anyways, homie's already out there. Here, let's watch
As
his
the
little...
city of Ontario grows, we must ask ourselves what type of city we want to become.
Hell yeah.
I believe that Ontario should be a place where you don't have to use a car to get to everything. I
Hell
believe
yeah.
that Ontario should be a place where families could safely walk to parks, where local residents could go bike or walk to local businesses, where neighborhoods are connected by crosswalks, sidewalks, bike lanes, and public transportation. Walkability isn't just about convenience. It's about less traffic, safer community, safer streets, and supporting our local businesses.
Ooh, yay. Coffee.
As your mayor, I will push for smarter development, safer sidewalks, bigger crosswalks, connected bike lanes, more access to public transportation, and neighborhoods for people who actually live in them.
Yup.
Ontario shouldn't be a city we drive through. It should be a city that we walk, live, work, and be safe in. Vote Nicolo for Ontario Mayor.
Nice.
As the city of Ontario grows,
Okay, so yeah, we will be having him on the stream very soon. But yeah, big props. He seems like he's going out there, putting himself
San
out there.
Bernardino, I have an important update to share, and it's a reminder of what can happen.
Whoops. Let's watch
San
that.
Bernardino.
Let's see.
San Bernardino, I have an important update to share, and it's a reminder of what can happen when a community makes its voice heard. As you know, the city of San Bernardino is considering applying for a federal Department of Justice grant that raised serious concerns about what it could mean for our immigrant communities. At a time when immigration enforcement has brought fear and uncertainty into our neighborhoods, into our workplaces, and families, members of our community stood up, organized, and made it clear that they did not want their city officials contributing to that fear. Today, I echoed your concerns directly with the city's leadership, and I'm pleased to share that they have confirmed that they will not pursue the grant. I want to thank the residents, the advocates, and community organizations who spoke up and made their voices heard. This is what community advocacy looks like. People coming together, making their voices heard, and shaping the decisions that affect their lives and the lives of their neighbors. Our immigrant communities are part of our fabric of San Bernardino. They are our neighbors, our co-workers, our small business owners, our friends and family. Let's continue to stand together to make sure our community has a voice in the decisions that affect our future. Thank you. San Bernardino, I have an important update to share.
All right, so yeah.
San Bernardino.
Have you noticed this warehouse?
Okay. So yeah, that'll be cool for him in the future, but this man, Paul Leon, yeah, that's crazy. All right. So as we're waiting for JOZ to get in, let's get ourselves a little bit more familiar with Fontanna City Council. All right. Okay. So most recently, Mayor Aquanetta Warren has been doing some PR for herself. We could go to her Facebook page real quick. She's been doing a lot of PR for herself. Most recently partnering up with Pete Aguilar. That's crazy. I would have expected better of Pete Aguilar. So for the city of Fontana, 1,200,000 for the Aldea Apartment Acquisition Project Phase 2. What is this project? I do not know. I would have thought that they already had something going on, but like there's Aquanetta Warren, Pete Aguilar, I forget what homie's name is, but he's someone's son. And then this old guy is here he is. John Roberts, and then Philip Cothran. He's yeah. So that's really interesting that Pete Aguilar is here with like 3 Republicans, 3 Republicans doing I don't know what to stop housing, I guess. Okay. We got JOZ in here. Let's bring her in. And let me get my sources properly done. Okay. Zoom meeting. All right. We should have audio for JOZ when she comes in. Hey. Oh, wait, hold on. I can't hear you, but I think it might be on my end. Yes.
Hear me now? I think my mic works.
Whoops. Nope. I did the wrong thing. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm being a total boomer here. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. I think I can hear you now. I think.
Yay.
No. What did I do? What?
Let me log out and
okay,
log
hold
back
on.
in.
Give me a second. Could you try talking again? No, I still can't hear you.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me now?
Damn, I'm so sorry.
Should I log back in, log back out? Let's see.
Yo. Okay. Yeah, select speaker. We got same as system. All right. Let's let her back in. Oh, Bishon in a box said you can hear her. It's just me that can't hear her. The stream can hear her. Okay, so then it's just me being a boomer.
Can you hear me now? No? Anybody?
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Apparently the stream can hear you, but I cannot hear you, and that's on me. Okay, hold on. Speaker. Maybe my headphones died. I think that's what it was. Okay, she's gonna go get water. Okay, maybe now I can hear. Thank you, Bishon in a box, for telling me that it's just a me problem and not. Look at, I'm such a bad radio show host. Hold on, I gotta get my little mic out of here. There we go. Okay, plug that back
I'm
in.
back.
So
Can you hear me?
yes, I can. I figured out what the problem was. It was my headphones were out of battery.
No worries. It happens.
I'm so sorry about that. But welcome in. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
I'm so happy to have you.
I'm so happy to be here. Sorry, last time we got to have a misconnection, but I am so proud of the work that you're doing. And, I just want to make sure that we get the voice out and the message out as much as possible. And so any opportunity to speak truth to power, I am here.
Heck yeah. All right. So first things first, have you been? How's the campaigning been going since our last conversation?
The campaign is doing amazing. The reason is mostly because a lot of our volunteers are new to politics in the sense of like they know politics is happening to them constantly, and now for the first time they have somebody locally to believe in. And so we are just creating a new generation of politically minded woke people who understand that their everyday lives are actually directed by the local city government, and they want to change that. And so we've been able to capture all that energy and all that momentum into creating the Avengers, right? I like to call it, we're at the end game, and I'm Doctor
Yes.
Strange, and I'm opening this portal of amazing talent that has been suppressed here in the Inland Empire, and now they have an outlet to really create change with their creativity. So although organizations are doing endorsements and the traditional establishment are doing their things, our
Yep.
campaign's momentum is overpowering. It's incredible. Young people are just coming to our park tours and just getting engaged and getting themselves out. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I Of course, every day I wake up nervous because you just never know. We live in a really horrible world. But
Yeah.
the beauty that we're fighting for is literally what is in front of us. And that is the people that are engaged, that are excited. I recently got endorsed by a local, like a high school student who's an ASB president,
Oh
who like
man.
reached out to me, was like, your campaign, your movement is exactly what I'm looking forward to voting for. I'm going to endorse you personally. And like just that ownership of like, this is what I believe in. This is my mission. This is what I want to do for my community. And that is getting civically engaged and informing others. Young man is 17 years old. That's the
Beautiful.
future that I'm
Yes.
fighting for.
Yes, I know. I've been loving your social media posts saying this is the future with JOZ SIDA as mayor. Beautiful, beautiful, because I genuinely can see it like that. We've had astounding wins all across the country, especially in Michigan, Wisconsin. How are you feeling about that? Because I think at least one race that I was watching very closely was the Abdul El Sayed
Yes.
race, and he made it. And I feel like there was a lot of that traditional establishment pushing, going against him. And, it's I keep saying it's only a matter of time until we get that same momentum hitting here in the IE, and you're going to be leading the charge. You will be leading the charge.
Fascinating to me, Angelina, because what is fascinating to me is I've been working in campaigns for a long time, and I've worked in progressive campaigns. I've been a community organizer, I've been a campaign manager, I've been a national director of many organizations, and I've seen the political trends, right? I've
Yeah.
worked in places like Wisconsin, I've lived in Wisconsin. I have a lot of my network and connection in Michigan. I've seen how much this momentum is
Mm-hmm.
incredible, right? Because of the harsh truths. Like in Wisconsin, we're not that much different. Wisconsin has pockets of blue cities, right? Like Milwaukee, Green Bay, Madison, and you go up the chain, but then you have a lot of small neighborhoods that don't reflect those democratic values. And you know what? Fontana and the Inland Empire is the same. We have a democratic state. We have Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento, Hollywood,
Yep.
and San Diego, and they're blue, but our little neighborhoods, like from the high desert all the way to Fontana to, Yucaipa, Yucca Valley, all these little towns that don't have a big population of over more than 200,000 or 300,000, we're not like, we don't have progressive leadership. We don't have, not even progressive, we don't even have democratic leadership, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is fascinating to me, and I'm going to be completely blunt with you, which
Go
that's what
for
we
it.
love about each other, is
Yes, we
that
do.
I find it fascinating how a lot of establishment Democrats from this region want to act like they're progressive, and they're super
Mm.
proud of like Abdul, and they want to be so like, oh yes, Mayor Mamdani, or oh yes, we're so proud of the potential that we would have had with the socialist governor in Wisconsin. They want to say these things and how they're excited and connected, but when they have that chance locally,
Mm-hmm.
they're just like, oh no, that's just too much. Like that is just too. The Fontana is not that far left leaning. Fontana could never. And it's like, how can you be so proud of all these things happening around the country, but yet when it's time to fight for it locally, you're just like, no, maybe not. That's just. We're just gonna wait for what the establishment Democrats want to do. How many times I've been asked if I'm gonna get endorsements from these establishment Democrats, and honestly, like although federal government agencies could definitely be supported, they and our values don't align. I don't take super PAC
Yeah.
money. I don't take like anything connected to anybody connected to APAC money. Or I am free Palestine. I am somebody who wants Medicare for all. I want single payer. I want to make sure that there's free college, that we have, it's just our values are not the same, right? And totally
Yeah.
get that. It might be extremely progressive, but what I want is a city where everybody can thrive in. And so I find it hilarious because it's like we have this opportunity in Fontana. I've proven that I've done the work. I've proven that I've done the ground game. We've seen it. We see the momentum. There has never in the history of Fontana, in the history of the Inland Empire, that there's been this momentum in any
Yeah.
campaign.
Yeah.
And yet they choose to say, maybe now is not the time. Actually, this is the only time we have.
Yeah.
And so that is what I find funny because that honestly, since the beginning of my campaign, as somebody again that's worked in politics for a long time, I have been campaigning and building a team and a momentum. Like I knew that the establishment was not going to support me
Yeah.
because they always say never meet your heroes, right?
Yeah.
Expect the worst, hope for the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so with that mindset, my only goal was that others didn't get that experience, right? So I think the biggest stress that I have as a candidate that knows politics is how to protect the young people from
Mm-hmm.
seeing the ugly and
Mm-hmm.
the unnecessary infighting from people that are supposed to be on your side. And by de facto, right? Our common enemy, in a sense, is fascism.
Yeah.
A common enemy is the miseducation of what socialism and communism means. Our common enemy is Donald Trump and his ICE tactics against our community, and the fear mongering and the threats and the murder, like the killings of a lot of
Yeah.
undocumented immigrants. Like that is our common enemy. But yet somehow, some way we found each other with the young and the new and the activists trying to get involved, seeing that the people that are supposed to be on your side decide just to kind of stay on the sidelines to see how
Yeah.
you battle it alone.
Yeah.
And, I am blessed to not be alone, but that's because community has found each other in this campaign.
Yeah, it really has, and I've just been in awe watching the slate grow, watching you guys go out there and do things. So that kind of, yeah, I love it. I love it, and I can imagine that at least the Democratic Party in the area, they're watching you guys, maybe they might be praying for your downfall. I hope not. But
The
I
Fontanna Democratic Club, the local club for our city,
uh-huh.
endorsed 4 out of the 5 candidates in our slate. So that's impressive. That's
Okay,
insane.
sweet.
That's awesome.
So you're getting
But
help from,
the our club here, they endorsed us. The DSA Inland Empire endorsed 2 of us,
yeah,
myself and Joe Alvarez. I've gotten a couple more endorsements. I know some of labor endorsed some of our candidates, like the Labor Council endorsed some of our
yeah,
candidates. So there's just like our candidates are so diverse, and we've all fit a different bucket of progress, but we can't do it alone. We have to do it together, and it's
yeah.
about uplifting our community on the way to victory.
Yeah, so that brings me to another question I kind of want to get your opinion on. Um, Again, not to bring it back to national news, but there's talk of a democratic civil war happening, and I know I don't, I really, I'm like it's the same kind of disagreements we've always had, but do you think that the Democratic establishment is seeing the momentum, socialism or DSA candidates or just any progressive left leaning candidates, and they're a little bit scared?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
that this is the bottom line. And this is going to be the most truth to power that we'll ever hear boldly and unapologetically. And the reason I can say this is because I'm not beholden to corporations or donors that have like threatened people. Look, I've been in the back end of campaigns. I've seen the tears of candidates and electeds when they don't want to make call time, they don't want to ask for money because they know how hard it is. But I've also seen how when people sell out to corporations and to developers and to special interests, that as long as the money's coming in, they just have to service them, right? They forget that the reason they're elected or the reason that they're running is to create good change and benefit the community they're serving. And so when that's being threatened, that is something that people fear, right? Their way of lives or the things that they're accustomed to. And so again, when we find ourselves with another Trump administration, 2024, Trump gets reelected,
mm-hmm.
and everybody's asking how, why, but how does this make sense? How did we lose the House? How did we lose the Senate? How did these things happen? And as somebody who's worked in campaigns for a long time, I can honestly tell you is by design, because imagine having a government that works for you, that gives you the opportunity to be self-reliant, that you don't have to always be asking for support because you don't rely on them, right? If you can get medication that doesn't cost you everything, if you can get a good quality job so you can live a good life, then you're not beholden to people. That means you don't need them anymore. And that's the
Yeah,
problem. Our government wants to feel needed, so they keep us so suppressed, right? They keep us under control. The money, the medication, the ways of lives, our education, access to resources, and
yep,
lack thereof. So when I see the establishment Democrats, the Democrats that are just moderate, that they, like Van Jones said, right? The Democrats that don't want to abolish ICE, that don't want to, defund the police, all those people, right? It's not about those fear mongering language that they're using, that they want to say that we're extremist leftists. Is
mm-hmm.
the fact is that when corporations are telling you you need to side with us or you are not going to get funded anymore, then imagine those people trying to go back to regular lives, regular
Yeah,
jobs, that now they can't afford their 6 7 figure economy, right?
yeah, yeah,
Well, they're going to push back on what's going to threaten them. What's going to threaten them is people power. Candidates that actually mobilize people to fire those who don't do their job. And it's like when you're coming up for evaluation at work and all of a sudden you want to do all the things that you didn't do for a year because you know your job is on the line.
Yeah.
That's literally what this is about. All of a sudden, they want to be active and they want to push down on socialist Democrats, or they want to push down on progressive candidates, trying to make change, putting it all on the line. I mean, we're talking to people that are service workers, union workers, activists, just regular folks, parents, people, teachers that want to run for office, but they don't have the resources. They don't have the insider information. They don't have the super PACs. They don't have any of that, but they have the people.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what they fear the most. And if they would have had that energy, right, to hold Donald Trump accountable, that man has been named more than 38,000 times on the Epstein list, and yet he hasn't been persecuted. But you have activists trying to protect people from immigration and enforcement, and they're now facing life to prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
that's
like
crazy.
What twilight zone are we living in, right? So honestly, it's not surprising that the establishment Democrats are afraid of the actual progressive democratic socialists or progressive candidates that are trying to take their jobs, is that the people are tired of people not doing their jobs, and now we need to ensure that they held accountable. That nobody here is not untouchable. Everybody needs to be held accountable.
Yeah.
And sometimes
that's democracy. That's democracy.
Exactly.
That's what we're here for.
That's funny enough. The other day, some man who, great for him. He's a veteran. I'm presuming because he had a military flag in his house. He just was so upset. He was calling me a socialist communist. And I'm like, those things are not the same thing, right? And it's like that mentality that, we're these bad people that are going to take everything from them. But it's like, sir, you fought for this country to have its freedoms. So that we can fight for our freedoms down here. Like, you fight the wars abroad so we can fight the wars within. And it's like, why is your anger and hate so invested in like young people that are trying to make change in their community in the best way possible? And so that's just a big takeaway about what we're facing down here on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine it's, getting more extreme, or not more extreme, but just the pressure's on, and people are getting serious now, looking into voting for real now, even though they should have.
For real.
Exactly. I know. I stole that from you. I'm sorry. But yeah. So how what's I've seen your opponent, Aquanetta Warren, go out there, make some PR moves in terms of securing some warehouse housing, I guess.
Talk about that.
Yeah, let's go for it. Because that was a few weeks ago. ABC7 covered it. It was Aquanetta Warren, and then San Bernardino County Board of Supervisor, which I think they're besties at this point. Jesse Armendariz.
She is the district director of,
yeah, he's her boss.
Well, you know what's funny? One of their interns, their intern decided to run for mayor just to put a name in there.
What?
Yeah, Nicholas Ortega. He's like 19 years old. He's an intern for Armendariz. He's actually the nephew of Peter Garcia, who's in the city council. And they put him to run for mayor just to kind of, I don't know, split the vote. They put 5 other candidates, including a Chamber of Commerce, a Fontanna Chamber of Commerce person as well, just to kind of split the vote with my similar name, with my hair color.
Oh my gosh.
With like, some like a little bit of like entertainment influence. And for me, I just don't like the young people being used for the political agenda to keep power. But, I know it's politics, right? But, But this shelter, I mean, they're rushing it. I also have three things with this. One, of course, the conflicted feelings with the Fontanna residents about this is hard because people want to help unhoused people. They want to help the people that are out there in the streets to make sure they go back to restorative lives and to be able to help them in the best way possible. But it takes more than just a bed. It's more about the resources, the accountability, the behavioral health, the access to medical, to access to mental health. Also, a lot of these unhoused people have pets. Do we even have a shelter? Do we even have a place to protect their pets while they're getting rehabilitated back to society? Secondly, the other thing is that we don't know what contracts are going in there for security, for food,
Mm-hmm.
or surveillance, or access to any of information of that. It's just an idea, right? I thought of an idea. There's going to be a navigation center that includes 8 cities that are going to
Yeah,
be pouring into this, and it's
I was gonna
actually
ask you
by,
about that because
yeah,
that's if that happened here in my city of Rancho Cucamonga, I would be pissed, right? I would be like,
yeah.
"What do you mean we're taking on other cities' problems, right?" But go ahead. How do you
But
feel about that?
so they're bringing them all here, right? And sometimes it could be Montclair having 7, 8 people.
Yeah.
Fontana may just have 2, where Alto may have 10, right? So it's not necessarily just focusing on helping Fontanans, like, who are unhoused, but just even recently, I went to talk to CityLink, and they told me that this is the year that they've seen the most unhoused people in the
Uh-huh.
history of Fontana. Over 480 plus unhoused people, which is different from the numbers that we're
Damn.
getting from the current administration of the mayor and her city council. But my last point, Angelina,
Yeah, go ahead.
is that nobody should ever live in a warehouse.
Yeah.
Like that for me is a non-starter. Whether we want to help the unhoused, which we do, we need to figure out ways to support other community organizations and other community navigator systems to
Yeah.
give them more funding. But nobody should live in a warehouse. Warehouses were not designed for people to live in. Secondly,
Yeah.
on that issue, sub point is that for a lot of us, and I've been talking to a lot of people on the ground, whether you be in North Fontana or South Fontana or Central Fontana, a lot of people's issues, like they talk about this issue with the warehouse becoming
Mm.
a house shelter center. But this seems, and look, if the mayor wants to come on the record and say that none of this is true, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
But the shelter for me seems to be a blueprint for detention centers.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Because
wasn't there
then
a
they
news
can go to the
story?
federal government. Yeah, the
Yeah.
warehouses are being occupied by the federal government for detention centers in places like Missouri and places like Idaho, Montana. I mean, it's a lot of the red states, right?
Yeah.
Imagine saying, well, we're going to get federal money, we're going to get federal jobs, we're going to get all this federal stuff because now I can prove that we can house people in warehouses because they did
No.
it with $14 million that we put up front.
Yeah.
They did it, right? And so for me, in a sense, and that's not just, I mean, that's what I've talked to constituents about. That is some of the biggest fears about
Yeah.
Fontana, especially South Fontana, with the amount of empty warehouses becoming
Mm-hmm.
detention centers, and now seeing that a homeless shelter is being built in that regard. That is,
Yeah.
pretty, disheartening. When we can have support for other resource centers. So my goal when I become mayor, especially at City Hall that they're building for
Yeah.
$50 million, is that I want to have wraparound services and an initiative called Bring Fontana Home, which is ensuring that we are helping the unhoused community with behavioral health, with like social work, with an animal shelter, with a VA navigation center, as well as LGBTQ plus community services, and
Wow. Yeah.
especially for marginalized communities, because a lot of the unhoused people are people who are young, who have been kicked out from homes because of their
Yeah.
sexual orientation, or because of financial burdens. These are families,
Yeah.
and also a lot of veterans that live here don't have access to a VA hospital. The nearest one is in Loma Linda,
Yep.
and we don't have an animal shelter. There's a big population of cats, of stray cats now.
Wow.
And so we want to offer to neuter your pets, right? So that the
Mm-hmm.
population of cats, what Bob Barker used to say, get your pets spayed or neutered. We need that because we're seeing, especially in this extreme weather with heat, with, desert areas, there's no shades and bus stops.
Yeah.
There's a lot of to be desired that can help a lot of the unhoused communities. It just doesn't start or end at a warehouse.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't even imagine like what the like obviously this will be for nerds. The cost benefit of like retrofitting a warehouse to provide shelter. Like are you gonna
In
just
case of
put
an
cages
emergency,
or
like an
yeah.
earthquake or
Oh my
like we
God. I
get
know.
extreme weather, then we need to
Yeah.
shelter in place, maybe work with FEMA, which I constantly have a relationship with folks that work at FEMA. And we've been talking about if we happen to have a huge earthquake, we just saw what happened in Colombia, right? Like,
Yes.
and what happened in Venezuela. What happened is what's happening is that the earth is shaking because man-made problems around the country. I mean, look what's happening in Canada right now, right? Like,
Yep.
we constantly see the destruction of nature, and yet we're not prepared. I know there's been a couple courses at City Hall or like the city government they offer, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
open to just like everybody. They're capped, and we don't have
Mm.
a lot of preparedness that we need to have for all communities in Fontana. I mean, we're a population of 200,000 plus residents
Yeah.
that live here, let alone the people that keep moving in constantly in these new neighborhoods, where we don't even have access to good grocery stores for a lot of these
Yep.
neighborhoods. We don't have access to good, healthy foods. Every cornerstone has a gas station, a drive-through, or a car wash. And
Yeah.
we're a very commuter-based community when people want to be a walking-based community. So a lot of our money is not being spent properly. There's grants out there that can be used properly. There's funds that we've been awarded that can be used properly. But what I've seen from the city hall, from city government, sadly, is that they like to start projects and not finish them so that they can keep getting reelected with the promise that this time is going to get done. And we still yet to see some of the fruits of that. Small
Yeah.
businesses are not thriving as much as we would want them to. But when the mayor considers warehouses and manufacturing small businesses, it's a problem.
Yeah, that blows my mind. Warehouses are not small businesses by any means.
Well, that's what she said at her business summit. So
That's crazy. But going back onto that, so I just saw this morning, Pete Aguilar was with Mayor Aquanetta and a couple other city council members to
yeah,
get a secondary like funding. And it's
you
like, whoa, what happened? What this project couldn't get done the first time?
exactly. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, so it's just like, okay, I hope we don't have to see like a part three check with Pete Aguilar in the city of
Well, maybe if
Fontana.
it's a part three and I'm mayor, we're gonna make sure that it actually is going through, and we could tell everybody where the last couple of checks have gone.
Yeah,
Because it is a problem. And look, it's campaign season, right?
yeah.
Um, Pete Aguilar and Norma Torres have not stepped into this race. Norma Torres' son works for Aquanetta Warren, so like, you know,
Wow. Yeah.
it is what it
Okay.
is, right? And they are like besties, right? And so
Yeah.
uh I heard it, I've seen it. She's trying. Aquanetta Warren is a Republican. Let's just get it out there. People
Oh,
should know
yeah.
this. She's a Republican. She's a registered Republican. You can see it in the New York Times when they interviewed a plethora of mayors, and she was one of them, and she's a proud Republican, and she wears a little R, very proud. Let's just
Yeah.
be honest about it.
Yeah.
And because these seats are nonpartisan, people don't know that every candidate that's running against me is also a Republican. All of them.
Wow.
And bottom line is that these are nonpartisan seats, so you won't see it.
Yeah.
So she's trying to play that she loves all Democrats, right? Like, oh yes, Norma Torres, Pete Aguilar, they're like my homies, they're the best. Oh man, Gavin Newsom and me were tight. Like, yes, like she's gonna say
Yeah.
these things because she wants you guys all to think that she's down with the progressives, right? Oh, I took a
Yeah.
selfie with Joe Biden. He invited me to talk at the White House. Like she's gonna say those things because for
Yeah.
her, she's gonna try to sway the moderate establishment Democrats. But
Yeah.
we all gotta remember is that in Fontana, she has told people you better speak the language. But all of a sudden
Oof.
now the city's offering Spanish classes. But you better speak the language. You better get to know the culture, and that undocumented immigrants are taking low-skilled jobs that belong to American citizens. It's like the fact that she's trying to put people against each other based on
Yeah.
race, based on
Yeah.
economical, differences, based on immigration differences, it's alarming. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
not, and I guess in my case, it's not democratic. It's not democratic values, and that goes back to your original question of like why there's a civil war between Democrats, is because they've forgotten that those are our values. Our
Yeah.
values are to put people first, is to work for the people, to provide good quality lives for our communities, and to ensure that we're fighting for them against big corporations and people who want to divide us based on race, based on immigration status, based on economic status. That
Yeah.
is what we were supposed to be, Democrats. And so
Mm-hmm.
when it really comes to the Civil War, is that we're seeing that greed and power is taking that mentality and the reason why people ran in the first place as Democrats. That's bottom
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if say I was a congresswoman, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Democratic congresswoman, and I see locally that a Republican mayor is creating havoc, is being uh pro Trump and is supporting ICE tactics and doesn't say
Yeah.
anything against ICE, just lets ICE
Harassing
keep
street vendors.
harassing street vendors, all that. I, as a congresswoman, have a duty to my community and also to my moral compass and integrity and values. I wouldn't put my son to work with her. I wouldn't go out of my way to not, say, you know what, it's wrong what you're doing, change your ways, or we're going to figure out how to get another person elected. But
Yeah.
instead, they all go to each other's parties. They all
Mm-hmm.
go to each other's fundraisers. They all donate to all their donors, donate to each other. The same donors donate to all of these folks.
Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
donors sometimes don't care about the R or the D. They care about who's going to do what I want, who's going to do what I need, right?
Yeah.
And that is the problem that we're having local. And I see it. And so what I'm trying to say is like, they just be right. She's going to try to say all these things so you can be confused. But I am not of the mindset that is blue no matter who. I am about prove to me that you're here for the good intentions to work for the people,
Yes.
and we're going to
Yes.
have your back.
Yeah.
So that's bottom line.
Yeah. Big respect for that. Big respect because it kind of is disheartening to me to hear about Norma Torres, to hear about other Democratic politicians. But there was one politician that I think was on the right side, and that was I think at the time she was Assembly, Eloise Gomez Reyes, right?
Yeah.
She called out in a series of tweets. I looked them up. They were like from 2022, 23 series of tweets calling out Aquanetta Warren about the harassing of street vendors, about changing the city council meeting times, and about I think about the warehouses, right?
Yeah.
And
I also think she has the support of the people. She's a good organizer. She's been
yeah,
a community advocate and somebody who I actually volunteered when she ran for Congress originally, Eloise Reyes, and
mm-hmm,
just seeing her growth and leadership in our community has been extremely admirable to watch. And I
yeah,
only hope that whoever um, you know, takes on her seat later on in the future could continue that legacy,
yeah,
because it is the only opportunity that we feel seen and heard. Once in a blue moon, I think politics is about compromise many times, but it's also about if you have the ability to have the people power, you have the ability to create change.
yeah, yeah. And it seems like you are definitely there. I keep saying I need to get out to one of your events, and I keep promising I will. I will.
Uh, Next Thursday, the 20th of August, I'm gonna have a comedy show at our headquarters with
Nice.
some amazing viral local talent comedians that I've met throughout my comedic career, friends, and it's gonna be amazing. So invite everybody. It starts at 8 p.m. There
August
is definitely
20th.
it's definitely a fundraiser, but I never turn away anybody that just comes to wanna, have a community moment. I've never been that kind of person, never been that kind of, political figure or anything like that or activist.
Mm-hmm.
So come, it's gonna be fun. There's gonna be food. It's gonna be such a great time.
Nice, nice. Okay, August 20th, 8 p.m. Sounds cool.
Yes. I'll send you the flyer so that you can, I think it's on my social media, but I'll send you the updated
Yeah.
flyer.
Okay, okay, sweet. Okay. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so I definitely wanted to talk about, just as we are getting down to the wire, we have a little under 90 days. I think we have 83 days left to election, but
Yeah.
your ballots drop October 5th. The last day to register to vote is October 19th to ensure your participation in this year's election. And especially if you have young people that are turning 18 before those days, make sure that
Mm-hmm.
you guys are registering to vote ASAP. If you move, make sure that you re-register to vote at your current
Yeah.
location so you get your mail-in ballot. And whatever you all need, DM us, talk to us, the issues that matter. Look, I'm not perfect. I know a lot of people think that a lot of my stuff is just Hispanic or just Latino. But the reality of the fact is that it seems that way because I am Hispanic. So no matter what I touch, it's always gonna seem that way. But my leadership style is for a one Fontana, a Fontana that belongs to everybody. Whether you're Punjabi, whether you're Latino, Salvadoreño, Ecuadoriano, whether you're, Scottish, whether you're Irish, whether you're Black or whether you're white, whether you're, a part of the Asian community, Chinese, Vietnamese, Filipinos, all of us, all of
Yeah.
us belong in Fontana. Was supposed to be created as a hub that is culturally diverse. And I want that representation all over Fontana. And that is when it comes to small businesses, when it comes to our communities, our cultural celebrations. I want to make sure that we're all seen, heard, and appreciated equally. And,
Yeah.
I am blessed. I am a daughter of immigrants. My first language was Spanish, I think in 2 languages, but that should be a blessing because the fact that I can communicate in English and communicate in Spanish, that means that I could talk to twice as many people and respect people equally. And you may
Yeah.
hate me, you may not like me, you may think I'm a communist, but I'm not. You need to make sure that you research and you Google what communism and socialism is. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's a misconception of fear. And we shouldn't be a city of fear anymore. We should be a
Yeah.
city of concern. We should be concerned that we're not being allowed at the meetings because the meetings are at 2 p.m. We should be concerned of where our taxpayer money is going. We should be concerned of why our voices are not being heard, that instead of having a gas station or a car wash or a drive-through, we should have a park or a coffee shop or a diner where kids can come, go and play and eat and thrive while we cannot aspire to dream more than just what we are being told. The city government is treating us like they know better than us. They're
Yeah.
treating us like we know where the money should go. We know how this should be. We know how this should look. Instead of telling us, hey, what do you guys think? Like, let's talk about it. Let's have a town hall.
Yeah.
Tell me how many town halls Aquanetta Warren or any other city electeds have ever
Oh
had.
no. Oh no, please don't say 0. 0?
0.
No. Oh
He's
my
area
God, come
commander.
on. That's so
They're
easy.
not.
That's so
And it's
easy.
super simple. You could even go on live. I went on live on Monday to make sure that I had my Mayor Mondays live, my for reals Mayor
Yeah.
Mondays live. And I'm gonna do that every single Monday at 6:30 p.m. We're gonna go live. It's gonna be a live town hall on the issues that matter. We're gonna roll out our plan that we've been building together as a community since last year, this week, as well as so many amazing other things that we got going on. But at the end of the day, when people ask, JOZ, what's your plan? It's there. JOZ, how are we going to do it? Come and talk to me. JOZ, so it's just a lot of things that we are developing because not one shoe fits all. And that's what the city has tried to do with us, thinking that we all want the same things, that we all want to see the same things, and that the Matilda effect. I'm big, you're small. I'm smart, you're dumb, and there's nothing you can do about it. But on November
Terrible.
3rd, we're
Yeah.
going to make sure that we're doing something about it.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. How many people have you registered to vote in campaigning and stuff or so
Oh my
many?
God. So especially high school students, we're open the hundreds of high school students that
Amazing.
registered since last year. But our volunteer base has grown. We have at least over 350 plus volunteers that have done a shift. We have done over 1,200 shifts of volunteer hours, meaning
Wow.
2 hours that people have given us. That means that we've done so much work on the ground. And it's actually very aspiring when I hear parents tell me, my son, my daughter told me about you. They come meet me at the park and they question. They're like, tell me this, tell me that. What's going on with this? What's going on
That's
with that?
great.
Oh, well, I'm giving them a paleta or agua fresca, right? But they've been incredible. And I'm always gonna speak truth to power, no matter who likes me and who doesn't. So that's just bottom line. We are building a momentum. We are building the people power movement that we've never seen because no matter what happens on November 3rd, obviously we are gonna win. But if things happen, I know that this movement is not over on November 3rd.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I was gonna say that honestly your movement reminds me of the feelings I had in 2020. Where in 2016 I was a big Bernie bro, right?
Yeah.
I campaigned for him and then but it was like kind of like, oh okay, everyone was saying it's not gonna happen. It's Hillary's time in 2016, blah blah blah. Whatever. But then obviously we got Trump and 2020 came around and At that time, I was like, this is it. People know that Donald Trump ain't it. The best Democrat for this job, or the best person to be a Democratic president, was Bernie Sanders. And like, it blows my mind, a couple months ago, back when, man, it might even be a few years, 2 years ago now, started 2024, when everyone was going out protesting, like Elon Musk and the Doge cuts. Yeah, I talked to people at those protests, and I was wearing my Bernie Sanders shirt, and they're like, "Man, I should have voted for Bernie," and I'm like, "He was there."
But this funny that you highlight this, because I
Yeah,
just want to tell you this bluntly and truthfully.
go for it.
Imagine knowing that Bernie should have won, right? Knowing that the party should have supported Bernie,
Yeah,
knowing that we would have been in a different world right now if Bernie would have been our president since 2016.
yeah,
The establishment didn't let it happen, right? Because it's too much leftist, too much socialism. Or
yeah.
we didn't learn from our mistakes. We got Trump in 16, we got Trump in 2024. I mean, oh my God, he's on the Epstein list.
Yep.
Yet, for the first time ever, we have a U.S. senator that was willing to invest in over 61 candidates to support them in their election, right? No, Obama didn't do that. Hillary didn't
Nope.
do that. Kamala didn't do that. I mean, who else didn't do that? Elizabeth Warren didn't do that. You know,
Yeah,
Bernie Sanders decided to say, I have a movement that if I don't pass it on to the next generation, is going to end, right?
yeah,
We do this, right? He endorses 61 candidates. Okay, let's keep it together. I'm one of those 61 candidates.
yeah.
In the history of, I'm the only candidate in the Inland Empire endorsed by Bernie Sanders. The only candidate in history of Fontana to be endorsed by a U.S. senator. Yet there's establishment Democratic clubs, Democratic leaders who'd rather have amalgamate.
Yep.
And then we ask ourselves, how did we end up with Trump again?
How did we end up with Trump?
Because of those same people that don't let their egos go and know that it's better to put people first than their own personal agenda.
Yep.
And that it will be
Yep.
the downfall of the establishment of the Democratic Party. If
Yeah.
they don't change their ways now, we're going to
Yeah.
end up with a dictatorship.
Yep.
Instead of them doing the work as a 180 of making sure that we're combating Trump and their worst, like the fact that, imagine destroying Democratic candidates so much during primaries, but then having to help them in the general after you literally giving the opposition all their ammo to destroy
Yep.
somebody.
Yep.
Like, how does that make sense? It makes sense to the consultants, makes sense to the strategists because they make the money.
Yeah.
The digital buys, the ad buys, all that stuff makes money. But the damage is done. You've hurt someone so much, you punched them so much. How are they going to get back if the party's not united behind you?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I know that people do regret the fact that they didn't vote for Bernie, but I also know that their pride and ego is so much more powerful that they'd rather do it again. They would do it again and again and again
They
and
would
not
do it
vote.
again.
And
Yeah.
that's the saddest part. But that's why we know this. That's why I'm so happy that it's me that's running, because I understand this. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
oblivious to it. I understand it. I've lived it. I've seen it with my own eyes firsthand. I've had those tough conversations with establishment Democrats. I know how this works and I know what it's going to be like. And that is the only reason why we're succeeding, is because you can't surprise me. I'm actually like, that makes sense. That adds up. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, because if not, I would have been devastated. I would have been gutted. Imagine if I believed that Democrats would actually unite and try to win this thing. Oh my God, I would be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, this is the most amazing day of my life. But I know the reality. And that's
Yeah.
something that scares people, that they can't surprise me, that I knew it was coming. The only thing that I didn't know was coming was that I was going to be endorsed by Senator Bernie Sanders. But after that, really, I mean, like, anybody else wants to endorse me, it's a plus for you. Not, I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Do you want to stand on the right side of history or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just my take on
That's
it, to be honest with you. I'm always going to come to you with the truth. I'm always going to speak truth to power, and I'm going to be blunt as possible, because if I'm not here tomorrow, at least you know the truth.
yeah. Yeah. Speaking of truth to power and stuff, one of my favorite political streamers is a guy by the name of Hassan Piker, if you're
Look,
familiar.
man. Hey, I'm trying. I'm sure people have been tagging me on this stuff. They want me to be on the show. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. We got
I
82 days.
know. I posted some stuff in his subreddit with you, and it was crazy to see Hasanabi heads in the comments being like, "Oh my God, JOZ, JOZ," and I'm like, "Damn, they know."
Don't tell me, you're
Yeah.
making me blush.
Sorry.
That's
So do
exciting.
you have any words for Mr. Hassan Piker to get in on your campaign?
Let's get on the mic. Let's literally, oh my God. Like, if and when we win Fontana back, not even
Uh-huh.
back, when we win Fontana in general, and we switch this gear of a dictatorship, that we've had in Fontana for a long time, with the same type of leadership that censors its community, that doesn't let us talk, doesn't let us communicate, doesn't let us ask questions, that uses our taxpayer money for their own personal agenda. If we can unwrap all of that and win this election, it will have changed the trajectory of small towns that are being taken over and run over,
Oh yeah.
the Republicans and the GOP and the MAGA. It will create historic monumental change for us in the Inland Empire, as this Fontana has been the gateway for warehouse development. And
Yep.
and that would be such a empowering move that can change the face of politics in Southern California, but in the country. Even though Mamdani won in New York, and
Hmm.
folks have won in Colorado and in Michigan and all that good stuff. Um, Creating this type of monumental change in Fontana, it's gonna blow people's minds. Like, it's gonna be like, wow, like
Yeah.
we can actually beat really entrenched corporations that have put billions of dollars of money into this community, but the city hasn't really seen them equally, in our communities. And so I think that he would have fun with us. I think that he would enjoy our campaign. I think that he would be proud of our campaign. And it could be the blueprint to change small towns across the United States.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think we see it in big cities, and I think maybe the establishment, legacy media, is more willing to explain away that
Yeah.
shift because it's a urban, or maybe it's majority minority. You know, every it's America. There's always going to be this pushed rift between cities and rural towns, even though it shouldn't be. But yeah, I think it would be beautiful in the same way that it is, with Mayor Mamdani becoming the mayor of the biggest city in the Western world, the financial center of the entire world. You know, I think it would be very poetic if when you become mayor, it's because you came for the warehouses, right? And
Yeah.
because that's what Fontana brought, was the warehouses. And so in the most poetic justice, I just came back from watching the Odyssey. Um, you know,
Need to go watch it. I want to watch it in 4D.
oh, 4D, yeah, that seems crazy. I just watched it in regular. I didn't even do IMAX, but
Somebody told me, like, you're gonna watch it in 4D. I was like, I gotta go watch it in 4D. But
okay,
no, I appreciate you so much, and I know that it's gonna be tough, but anything that's worth it is never easy.
that's true.
When they put 5 other candidates to run against me, all Latinos, all with Latino last names, seeing young people that were being used to do that, seeing the fact that people are coming to the parks, getting to know me, getting to know the slate, seeing my team launching their campaigns, being like, fundraising and doing the work on the ground, knocking on doors, talking to voters. I mean, we've literally built not only a movement, but we built a family. And
Yeah,
our volunteers are loved and appreciated. Our team is loved and appreciated. And there's just more to come. So much more to come. The best is yet to come. I always tell people, you haven't lived your best day yet, and you haven't met everybody you're supposed to meet. And that's just what this
yeah.
journey has brought to my life.
Amen to that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Josita. Any
Thank
final words
you.
before we end the call, or no?
Make sure you're registered. Follow
What was the
Josita
date?
for Fontana on Instagram. Next week, comedy show the 20th. This Saturday, we're going to be at Jack Bullock Park at 5 p.m. So join us to have a conversation, talk about the issues, tell me what you feel, what you're thinking, and if you have any skill or talent that you want to share with us in the campaign, whether you're a musician, whether you are an activist, whether you're a screenplay writer or whatever it may be, come and join us, because not only are we building a movement, but we're making destiny, we're making a movie. Who knows, we may be in the Sundance Film Festival and you know all that good
Whoa.
stuff. But you know, we know how to, we're documenting this. I have an amazing videographer, photographer, Jesse. I have so many beautiful, talented people. Johnny Miller did a video song. He wrote a song about our
I
campaign
saw
and our
that. It
goals.
was really
It was
beautiful.
super heartfelt. I love him to pieces. We have a beautiful comms team. I have beautiful volunteers that are just incredible. You know, people who have been canvassing, knocking on doors, talking. I mean, it's the most beautiful experience of my life, the most intense experience of my life. A big shout out to my coworkers who are just holding it down for me, because I've been able to aspire for all of this with the same mindset that I have with my job at the Sierra Club. They're just incredible human beings,
Mm-hmm.
as well as all our volunteers there holding down the ground, fighting, you know, big corporations who are polluting our communities. To a biggest shout out to my family. They're super involved. My nephew Diego, he is just literally one of the biggest blessings. My nieces helping
Aw.
me out all the time. My sister decorating things. 505 Coffee, Alebrijes Bakery, always coming through.
Oh yeah, I
Even the
love
Paletero.
Alebrijes.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, this has been such a connector community, like you know, campaign. Tierra de Mi Padre hosted our rally the other day for after filing our paperwork. You know, we were able to be on the ballot. You know, anybody could be on the ballot if you have your 20 signatures. But then, in order to get a candidate statement on the ballot, you need to pay $3,673.
Oh my God.
And then in order to put up signs, you need to put $1,000 deposit just to be able to put up signs, right? And so in
Yeah.
total, after the $4,673, you know, we were able to know that we are going to have a candidate statement, and that way voters can all know who we are. But all of our candidates were able to fundraise that money to be on the have candidate statements, and that takes a lot. And these are first time candidates that,
Yeah.
you know, fundraising and asking for money isn't the funnest thing in the world. So if you
Nope.
guys want to
I
contribute
totally
to
get
our
it.
campaign, follow us at Fontanna United on social media, go to our website, go to the candidate sites, donate to our campaigns so that they can buy literature, so that they can, you know, get a texting program out, so they can get, you know, we can get ads on social media so that we can get maybe a billboard together for Fontanna United, right? So there's a lot, you know, it takes a lot of courage, a lot
Yeah.
of money, and a lot of things, but we have had so many blessings from our campaign headquarters to our trailer, to our paletas, to our aguas frescas, to our coffee, to our pan, to our community activism, to social media. People are just really coming together. So it's
Yeah.
incredible. That's something money cannot buy.
No, that is so true. You cannot buy authenticity. You cannot buy genuine love, genuine caring. Speaking of which,
Amen,
thank you
sis.
so much, Jaws. I love when you come on stream. I hope to have you on again. Like we should make
Oh,
it a
we
regular
will.
thing.
Maybe
But
at that time I won't have so many bags under my eyes that I don't sleep. But you
me
know,
too, bro.
I'll
Me
I'll
too.
make sure I get some sleep. Thank you so much,
All right.
Angelina.
No,
Appreciate
thank
you.
you.
Keep being
Have a good
you, and
one.
you know, expose the truth, girl. All right, bye.
We got this together. All right. See you
Always.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Dang. That was amazing. Sorry. I always love talking to Jaws. She's just so full of energy, you know? Hey, Jared. Oh, and sorry, Bashon in a box. Thank you for helping me out. Oh my God, I'm such a boomer. My headphone battery was the problem. But yeah, Jaws SIDA made so many good points. You know, we'll see. I don't see why she wouldn't become mayor. She's doing everything right. She's making all the moves. She's, you know, putting herself out there every single day. Like and making time for me later on today. I think she's going to go to do one of the park tours again. So yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe they put other people on the ballot just to spite Joss Sita. That's crazy. Jared from California, I mean, sorry, Jared from Redlands said, very mayoral. I think being out in the community says a lot. That is for sure. because Mayor Aquanetta Warren does not go out into the community like at all. She is always posting on Facebook. But like, but when is this from? This looks so old. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta change the audio. Okay.
And it's just been an eye-opener how important it is to work with different agencies. I believe in that firmly. I believe that the federal, the state, local, county, city, we all have to work together. Even
Okay, well. Oh no, she has music on everything. She was out there. What is this? She's just reposting stuff that makes her look good. She plays piano. Oh no. Okay, so this is her bio.
And still have children. I want residents to know that I'm them. You know, I was that young mom that had to go through a divorce and not have resources and still have children to take care of. I made the best of what I was doing. And that's what I'm doing here in this city. I'm trying to create the best for everyone. Because this thing called Fontanna that everybody keeps asking me, why are you doing this?
Yeah, why?
Why haven't you done more personally in your life?
No one's asking what she's done more personally in her life. I'm just asking why you don't be listening to people.
I am doing what I want to do. I'm having fun. I'm allowed the opportunity every day to get better, to help others. And that's what I want to do. I'm not doing this as a job. I'm doing it because I love it.
Yeah.
And I love the people I see.
Oh my God, Jared from Redland said, "Girl, what? How is any of this relatable? It is not. It is not. She's just like, you know, now that we know that she's like Republican, tell me why. Why is it always the Republicans that play the race card, that play the gender card, that play the homosexual card? You know, like I can't with this. But yeah. Oh, look, she did her own car show too. But yeah, she's in politics for the wrong reason. She's in politics to make connections. She's in politics to, I guess, have her own mural of herself. I don't even think it's real. I think it's AI. But yeah, that's crazy. So big shout out to JOZ SIDA again for coming on. Was shown in a box said, because now they are the white snowflakes from 2015 that they called Tumblr girlies. Yes. No, yes. Conservatives today are 2015 Tumblr girlies. They're like, conservatives are like, can you please respect my safe space, please? This is my place of worship. You gotta respect it and only have Catholicism in here. Oh man. So yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, big shout out to JOZ SIDA again. Oh man, chat, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. So yeah, let's get into I don't know if worker power hours has started yet. I don't think so. But we will get into that later today because we got a good stuff. Wait, they streamed accidentally 2 hours ago? Hilarious. No signal. Damn, poor Robert. He's trying. Okay, so we'll just leave that there.
We're joined by Council.
Okay. So here we are 2 hours ago from Pete Aguilar himself. He posted this.
Member John Roberts from Fontana. We have Councilmember Philip Catherine from Fontana. I think you're going to find there's nobody in here but Fontana. We also have our city manager, Matt Valentine. We have
Hold on, let me put the captions on.
City manager, Phil Byrne. Our deputy city manager, Ray Ebert.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Chief Dorsey. I saw our fire chief here, Chief Birchfield. We have Daniel Snyder, our community services director. Gia, is she sit down? There you are, Gia. You gotta be up front, okay, there you go. We have Gia Kim, who is our public works engineer director. I saw Valerie back there, our housing manager. There she is right there. And we also have QMG. They actually do the property management for this community. And thank you, you are doing a remarkable job. It's really an honor to be here today. And as we celebrate another important investment in the future of Fontana and the continued growth, we're going to say, of the idea apartments. I want to thank HUD, Congressman Pete Aguilar, for his leadership and partnership in securing $1.2 million in community project funding for the Idea Apartments acquisition and development project. Give it up for that. People don't realize this contribution represents the initial funding for the acquisition and entitlement of Idea Phase 2, which will be right next door. We're not playing around. Congressman said build housing, we're doing it. The funding will support that entitlement of the property, and it'll establish the foundation project. This is an important first step towards securing additional funding for the actual development and construction of Phase 2. City will be able to use this funding toward the purchase of the property immediately, and we'll be able to expand this community to include more amenities where we introduce to the families a place for them to call home. This place represents stability, opportunity, and our commitment to making sure Fontana remains a safe and secure place for families to be and to thrive. You know, we take so much for granted. As I talk to particularly the homeless families, when they tell me they don't even know where their next meal is coming from, or what restroom they can use, or where they can hang their coats up. All of those things many of us take for granted, they don't take that for granted. So having opportunities like this is providing hope that we can eliminate homeless and we can provide thriving communities. And that's why this is so important. That next group is going to include 78 units. Right now we're doing 78 units, but it's an occupancy rate of about 92%. And we don't want them all to fill up because we have emergencies, so we have to make sure. But this is going to be permanent supportive housing. And right now we have 11 people that were originally homeless. They are stable and they are consistent in these units. So here's the quote. Strong communities are built when people have a safe, stable place to call home. Idea Phase 2 is another step toward creating a Fontana where families at all levels, all income levels, live, grow, and thrive. We're grateful to Congressman Pete Aguilar and HUD for their partnership. Together, we're investing in our residents. We're excited about what's next to come, not only for these apartments, but more importantly, the families who we will one day be able to look in the face and said, we tried to provide, but what you're doing for your community goes far more. So thank you. At this time, I'd like to call up the Honorable Pete Aguilar.
Thank you so much, Mayor Warren. She is such a force when it comes to getting projects done, and we know the importance of affordable housing in this region, and so I appreciate the partnership with the City of Fontana and everyone here who is dedicated to affordable housings for families, even when they fall on hard times, as the mayor said, across all income levels here in the city. In Congress, and I know it's a priority for the City of Fontana as well, housing is top of mind, so people can build their lives in this community, so they can call it home, and so they can do well. And that's why I'm proud to work to deliver $1.2 million for phase 2 of Aldea's acquisition project. And as the mayor said, apartments, plural, because we're not done yet. This project will expand affordable housing in the region to give families at risk of homelessness stable, quality housing, low-cost place to call home. With this funding, the city will be able to purchase, as the mayor mentioned, 2.4 acres next door to build 80 more units. And on top of that, this grant will help the quality of life for the residents here by upgrading the building's outdoor spaces, including the playground, dog park, and parking lot. By taking these steps and constructing more low-cost, affordable housing, we're going to help the existing facility have room to grow. And this facility will be a bridge to next door, so families with insecurity and using temporary services will have a better option for them and their family, and the permanence that will make our region do well. Projects like this give people more than just 4 walls and a roof. This gives people the peace of mind, and it gives them a path to a brighter future. Funding like this and partnerships with the City of Fontana are our pathway toward a more inclusive and successful community. I'll keep fighting with our local elected officials to ensure that we deliver more resources here for the Inland Empire, so more families can do well, can thrive, and can call this place home and raise their children in a comfortable environment. Thank you so much to the city, and thank you to the mayor for all the help and the support. Appreciate it.
You know, I always tell people, if you think you can do everything on your own, good luck. That's why it's so important for this partnership. Congressman, I gotta thank you. Ever since you left local government, you never, ever have abandoned us. You always look back and you always help us. And we appreciate you for that. So with that, let's take some photos.
Whoops, sorry guys, I'm back. Oh, Jared said, bruh. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh my God, so much. Oh no, wait, hold on. Dude, that's a lot of money. Bashon in a box said. Jared from Redlands said, bruh, literally that's enough to fund a marching band program. And then chairs. Wait, how do you know how much it costs to fund a marching band program, homie? And then Bashon in a box also hit chair. Damn. Y'all are roasting me. Okay. So, what's the consensus on this? Nothing's gonna happen, huh? Here, let me leave a comment. Hopefully, the city of Fontana, can elect elect a Democratic mayor instead of Pete Aguilar. I don't know how to spell his name. Aguilar. Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of Pete Aguilar because he takes APAC money. Like a lot of APAC money too. Okay, instead of Pete Aguilar, support Pete Aguilar helping a Republican get re-elected with this PR stunt. Okay, whoops. Comment. Thank you, Mr. Aguilar. Yeah, so this whole thing felt more symbolic than anything. Yeah, it was just straight up to it's just PR for Aquanetta Warren, like they were saying. Okay. Let's check up Cal Matters and see what they got going on. Oh my god, okay, here, let's read this about Newsom, which Gavin Newsom, he's such a freaking Chad. He put out a video of of like hold on. Gavin Newsom. Oh no, I don't need his freaking podcast. Here, let's go to his page. Shorts. Bro, how does he have 115,000 people subscribed? Okay. Bro, where is it? It was like POV California just released a new tax credit for EVs, whatever. Okay. All right. From Cal Matters by one of our favorites, Jeannie Kwan and Levi Samgase. Newsom makes last-minute push to help California utilities facing wildfire bills. In the final few weeks of his last legislative session as California governor, Gavin Newsom is asking lawmakers to help reduce how much profit-making utility companies must pay out after wildfires. His administration has for weeks floated to lawmakers a wide range but still vague package of bills to address the spiraling cost of wildfires that has made a slew of different interests unhappy. Insurance companies have launched an ad campaign against what they call a potential utility bailout that would leave them unable to recover from the power companies the cost of paying homeowners' insurance claims. Attorneys representing fire survivors and other plaintiffs that sue utilities don't want to see their fees reduced. Wildfire survivors worry the governor's proposal would prevent them from being made financially whole for suffering trauma. Local government leaders are demanding that they continue to be paid the full cost to rebuild incinerated infrastructure. I isn't that how it would work? Am I wrong? Like, isn't insurance companies supposed to rebuild things for their the people? They're supposed to rebuild the structures that get burned down. Like, that's what insurance is for. Okay. On the other side, the politically influential utilities who have drawn fury for their equipment sparking several of the state's most devastating wildfires. The three state investor-owned utilities, Pacific Gas and Electric, Southern California Edison, and San Diego Gas and Electric, aren't in imminent financial danger, and last year saw profits rise, but fire costs could have contributed to Californians paying the second highest electricity rates in the country. Bro, and how many Californians already have freaking solar panels on their roofs to help with the electricity bills? It's crazy. All right. But fire costs have contributed to California's paying the second highest electricity rates in the country. And lawmakers and Newsom's office worry that it'll become harder for utilities to borrow money. Those bills will continue to climb. The utilities together provide power for about 3/4 of the state. Newsom and lawmakers say utilities are held responsible for too much after a wildfire, and that bad actors like hedge funds are taking advantage to get a cut. If another devastating wildfire triggers damages too high for a utility to pay, the potential resulting bankruptcy would make it even harder for victims to collect. So it's almost like insurance companies shouldn't be allowed to declare bankruptcy, or maybe insurance companies shouldn't be companies at all, and maybe insurance should just be run by the government. The status quo doesn't work, Newsom said at a press conference last week when he asked whether his proposal is in the best interest of fire survivors. And we're trying to balance all those needs in a very familiar process that will unfold over the course of the next few months. Cal Matters asked the governor's office whether the timeline Newsom mentioned was correct, considering the legislative session ends in 3 weeks. A spokesperson said the governor meant the next couple of months of the... Okay, whatever. He misspoke, I guess. As he mulls a presidential run, Newsom has political incentive to push through a deal. Opponents from the right are eager to paint California as unaffordable and lurching through disasters. Further rate hikes or the specter of a utility bankruptcy wouldn't help, but backing the utilities also comes with risk. Anger at the companies remains fresh after Edison was last week found by CAL FIRE and Los Angeles County Fire Departments to be responsible for the January 2025 Eaton fire that killed 19 people in Altadena. Wow, that's crazy. Jared from Redlands said, "Aw, it's okay, Southern California Edison. We know you've destroyed thousands of acres of land and displaced families, but you don't have to worry about that. Why should we make you pay?" Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's how Newsom's acting. No, why'd you take away the message? It was a good one, bro. The chair of the Key Assembly Committee, Democratic Assembly member Cotty Petra Norris, is generally on board with Newsom's proposal, but lawmakers in the Senate appear less certain. Fire survivors are urging them to slow down and commit to a more public debate. You cannot be, there are some bad actors, and therefore we will have a secret bill, said Joy Chen, who leads the group of Los Angeles wildlife survivors. Then your bill is the bad actor. A familiar fight. It's a redux of a bitter fight that has bookended Newsom's time as governor. He stepped into this role in the wake of the devastating wildfires that tore through Northern California in 2017 and 2018, several of which PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, was found to have been responsible for. The utility was in a bind. Under California law, it was secretly liable for fires that were getting more severe, partly due to climate change, and the regulators were no longer letting the companies pass damages onto customers in case they were found careless. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, yeah. No, Jared, YouTube, like Google, Gmail, like all of the Google, everything that Google owns has been trashed this past week. Okay? Like earlier this week, or I should say last week, one of the reasons I couldn't stream last week was because my freaking Google Wi-Fi router setup was having issues, and like it took forever to try to reset it, and Google, the account was just not working. So no, it's yeah, YouTube and Google is not something's going on. But anyways, back to the article. Facing mounting suits from victims and insurance companies, the companies in 2019 declared bankruptcy. Newsom quickly signed legislation to help buffer utilities from those claims, drawing accusations of a bailout. The state created a $21 billion wildfire fund paid for half by utility shareholders and half by customers through a $2.50 surcharge on their monthly electricity bills. To pay victims' claims, provided the utilities follow stricter safety regulations. See, why would they not why would the state of California not just have the insurance company? If the state of California is like holding half of the money that the company should be holding, like, isn't that what they do? They charge the customers a premium. That premium goes to pay for the current claims that are being claimed right now. Or I would imagine if they have extra, they put that away. But no, literally the state of California is having to be like the big brother of these utility companies and saying, give me, you charge your customers $2.50 every pay period, and give that over to me once you charge them for that, and I'll hold on to it for you. Just like the state of California hold on to the whole damn thing. Okay. Then in January 2025, during an intense windstorm, electricity arcing from a century-old out-of-service Edison Tower in Southern California's Eaton Canyon set dry brush ablaze. Wait, so this was a century-old out-of-service Edison Tower? How the hell was it getting electricity? If it was out of service, how the hell did it do an electrical arc? That doesn't make any sense, Southern California Edison. Oh my God, okay. The resulting Eaton fire, burning at the same time as the deadly Palisades fire, claimed 19 lives and nearly 9,500 homes and other buildings. UCLA estimated the loss between $24 billion and $45 billion. The state wildfire fund is expected to be drained once the cost of insurance claims, Edison's multi-million-dollar voluntary settlement with survivors, and numerous unsettled lawsuits are tallied. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I knew that people were still not like in their homes because they were not rebuilt from being burned down, but like they just really are treating all the customers like trash, aren't they? Newsom's goal is twofold: limit who can make claims to the fund and limit how much they can get. In private briefings last week, a document outlining his package released Tuesday, his office said he would combine the cost of reduction with bills to boost home hardening, helping homeowners get off the state insurer off the last resort and re-enter the home insurance market, tie utility executive pay to safety, and require shareholders to pay down customers' rates for 2 summers. Bro, shareholders aren't going to pay for anything. Shareholders are going to dip out of owning these shares before they have to pay anything. That's crazy. Okay, details of the package remain scant. The outline Tuesday did not include proposed legislative language. Cal Matters contacted the state's 3 major companies. San Diego Gas and Electric did not respond. Pacific Gas and Electric and Edison referred questions to Nathan Click, a spokesperson for the utilities campaign, which is called Wildfire Victims First, and has been blanketing the state with ads telling Californians to urge their lawmakers to act. Yikes, that is not good. That is not good, I think. Just passing the buck. Why would... Wow. Okay. Click, who is also a political spokesperson for Newsom, did not answer specific questions, including whether utilities are meeting directly with lawmakers. Instead, he shared a statement from a handful of business groups and a powerful electric workers union urging lawmakers to advocate for for the proposed liability reduction. In addition, the chief executive of Pacific Gas and Electric and Edison have said they plan to take action to protect their shareholders, always, to protect their shareholders if California lawmakers do not pass legislation to limit their fire liability. They did not specify what they plan to do. Oh my God. So Pacific Gas and Electric has more plans in place to protect their shareholders than they do to protect their consumers. That's crazy, bro. That's absolutely crazy. Over the past 4 years, Pacific Gas and Electric and San Diego Gas and Electric collectively spent $5.2 million on California political campaigns, sponsored travel for lawmakers, and donated to officials' favored charities, according to Cal Matters Digital Democracy Database. Wow, so they spent $5.2 million, but they can't help contribute to the 24 billion and 45 billion, geez, that they need to reset up the thing. That's crazy. Okay. Pacific Gas and Electric has also the 5th highest spending on lobbying in the 2025-2026 legislative sessions and was a top spender from April through June. In the first half of this year, the 3 utilities reported spending nearly $7 million to influence Newsom's administration. The legislator and their regulators at the California Public Utility Commission, terrible. Limiting damages. Newsom suggests chipping away at utilities' liabilities by limiting attorneys' fees, reducing the amount of money local governments can recoup to rebuild burned infrastructure, and curbing how much some victims can receive in damages. Why would they not be? What does that mean? Like, are you saying that some victims have been getting more than they're allowed? Because why else would you want to reduce the spending on them? That doesn't make sense. His proposal would set up a state-administered fast pay program to prioritize wildfire fund payouts for survivors whose loved ones are killed, who are injured, or whose properties are destroyed. To participate, claimants would likely need to give up their right to sue the utility, trading an often lengthy wait through litigation to get comprehensive damages in exchange for the relief of a quicker payout. Yeah, and that sounds exactly like what happened in Tornadoes 2. Not Tornadoes 2. Twisters. Twister 2. If anyone saw that, the highly anticipated sequel to Twisters from the 90s, they remade it in like 2015 or something, like 2017 or something like that, right? And the whole plot of the movie was that people's homes were getting these people's homes who got destroyed by tornadoes would get these fast payouts by this like illegitimate company that was just going to go around and, resell the land for hire anyways. It was a kind of a boring movie, but it had a good plot line. And of course there was tornadoes. So, I highly suggest watching it. For other victims in harm's way, the Tuesday outline suggests allowing up to $150,000 in damages. Bro, that's not even like half the price of some people's homes. That's crazy. Newsom's office and Petra Norris, who generally supports the idea, said they do not intend to limit emotional distress claims for survivors they deem legitimate, but also those kinds of damages should be curbed for others. Who are the others? Shown in a box said, wow, that sounds crazy. Yeah, it is. If you were part of the disaster, no one's going to say you can't make a claim, Petra Norris, an Irvine Democrat who chairs the Assembly's Utilities Committee, said, if you do not actually experience a disaster, what non-economic damages should you be entitled to? Petra Norris and Newsom are concerned about billboard attorneys who seek clients to file lawsuits against utilities and the wildfire fund. One study has found attorneys are likely to get 30 to 40% of victims' payouts. Wow, interesting. Groups representing survivors and attorneys argue it's not so clear who should count as a victim. Residents who lost no property or stayed in their homes miles away could still be harmed by smoke inhalation, for example. Exactly. Chen said she was stunned after she was briefed by the governor's office last week and was told not only people who are evacuated and have their houses burned down would be eligible for non-economic damages. That's crazy. Let's say someone was out of town, but their house burned down, so they didn't evacuate, she said, but they lost everything, so they have to rebuild. So you won't compensate them for pain and suffering because they weren't there. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I hate this legal stuff. Like, it's so ridiculous. They'll find any loopholes. Newsom also wants to stop investors from buying claims and prioritize small business claimants over corporations, but his office has not explained how to accomplish that. I don't know what a small insurance business would look like, because they probably would not be in business. The proposed bill package has incensed some wildfire victims that opponents of the plan have shrugged at arguments that some claimants are taking advantage of the wildfire fund. The utilities are finding a lot of creative ways to avoid responsibility. That's it, said Graham Knaus, Chief Executive Officer of the California Association of Counties. We should not be opening the door for them to escape accountability. Shifting cost. Another component of the outline released Tuesday could affect how homeowners across the state. Newsom is proposing to limit or eliminate entirely insurance companies' rights to recoup money from the utilities when a utility-caused fire forces those insurers to pay out homeowners' claims. This process is known as subrogation. I don't know, whatever. We're just going to ignore that word. Subordination. Copy. I'm looking it up. Subrogation is a legal process when insurance company pays your claim and then steps into your shoes to chase the at-fault party or the insurer for reimbursement. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, thank you, Bishon in a Box. Weird ass word. It kind of sounds like subleasing. Like, that's what this sounds like. So in a sublease, you know, someone is leasing an apartment or like a car, right? And then they sublease it to you. And then, so this is subrogation. What is the original word? Interesting. Okay, whatever. This freaking AI is only taking information from Allstate. Okay. Utilities and insurance already clashed in 2018 when utilities unsuccessfully backed a bill to loosen a unique California legal doctrine that holds power providers strictly liable for wildfire damages near their equipment, even if they aren't found responsible for the fire. We're all a well-resourced industry, but not like the utilities. Rex Frazier, president of the Personal Insurance Federation of California, recalled their lobbying spending was just crazy. Denny Ritter, a vice president of the American Property Casualty Insurance Association, said eliminating subrogation could impede the progress that has been made due to regulations California adopted last year to address insurance availability problems. We're at this precarious time, Ritter said, because the state now allows insurance companies to consider catastrophe modeling and reinsurance cost in pricing their premiums. Some insurers have resumed writing new policies in California, and the number of policies in the last resort FAIR plan is growing at a slower rate, according to the state insurance department. If they can't recover the cost of wildfire claims, Frazier and Ritter said insurance companies will raise premiums, which could affect homeowners even in areas with low fire risk. We don't understand how they're not embarrassed to suggest that the answer to their problem is to shift their cost over to the people, Frazier said. Why should our homeowners, insurance customers in a dense urban environment have to pay considerably more? Senator Ben Allen, the Democratic chair of the Senate Utilities Committee and a candidate for insurance commissioner, said he doesn't want to make that trade-off if the package doesn't include other benefits for consumers or taxpayers. Petri Norris said it could be worth it. If you can save $2 on your utility bill and your insurance goes up by $1, then that seems like a smart thing for us to all do. That's so stupid. If you can save $2 on your utility bill and your insurance bill goes up by $1, that's you saving $1, not that all of a sudden I have to pay $1 extra. Okay, whatever. We know how these people operate. All right. Thank you for that story, Jeannie Kwan and Levi Samagase, economy reporter and capital reporter. Okay. Let's see. Do we want to talk about this bird named Jackie? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Oh wait, I know what we could do. It's been a while. But we could go to IE Taco. Oh my god. Not the IE best tacos. Huh. Okay. Here. IE Taco. All right, so where's the first episode of this? Uh, Hold on, we'll find this. Work that could use your support. I guess they didn't publish it yet? Is this it? I thought it was gonna be an audio thing. We'll find it. Is this what it was? Hold on. IE Latino. Oh, I thought it was IE Taco. No, it's the IE Latino Voices. There we go. Okay, now we can listen.
For KVCR News, I'm Anthony Victoria. This is IE Latino Voices, where we highlight the people, organizations, and stories shaping Latino communities across the Inland Empire. Conditions at the Adelanto ICE Processing Center continue to draw scrutiny from immigrant rights advocates, attorneys, and families of people detained there. A federal judge recently ruled that the Department of Homeland Security and GEO Group, the company that operates the facility, must provide detainees with adequate food and drinking water. But immigrant families say conditions inside Adelanto remain a concern. Today, I'm joined by Southern California News Group reporter Ryan Mena, who has been investigating conditions at Adelanto and speaking with detainees and their families. Ryan, thanks so much again for joining us to discuss your reporting.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Of course. What are you hearing
Ryan
now
is a girl's
about
name.
conditions inside Adelanto? Have things changed since we last spoke?
Things haven't changed according to the people that I've been speaking to inside. You know, issues still persist with food, with it being spoiled or undercooked, delayed medical care, and water quality issues, and access to drinking water issues too.
Yeah, so I know that's some of the reporting you've done recently. Tell us what you found and what detainees have been telling you about water quality inside.
So a week before I published this piece, a video showing what appeared to be, worm-like creatures swimming in a water bottle from inside Adelanto went viral on social media after first reported by Univision and LA Taco. The video was taken by the family of Ricardo Parias, also known as citizen journalist Richard L.A., and that video was taken during that video call. So in an interview, he told me that he first heard about the worms from another detained man in his unit who came up to him holding a cup of freshly poured water and was like, "These are the worms I found in my water." And then two other men corroborated Parias's claims about this contaminated drinking water. One of the men told me that he has to filter the drinking water with his underwear before he drinks it.
Oh my God.
And that his underwear have caught two little ones being worms. And another man in that unit told me that about 10 people are sick inside, vomiting, and they think it's because of the water.
Oh
what
my God.
has ICE, DHS, and GEO Group said in response to those claims?
The Department of Homeland Security actually didn't respond to my questions, but GEO Group, the private prison company that owns and operates the Adelanto ICE facilities, said that people detained inside Adelanto have 24-hour access to clean, potable drinking water, and that the drinking water jugs are cleaned, sanitized, and refilled 3 times a day. They also said that each unit has drinking fountains, but 3 men detained in 3 different units in Adelanto said that there aren't any drinking fountains in their unit. GEO Group also said that the facility has its tap water tested each year by a purported nationally recognized FDA-certified company, and said that the results from its latest test in January found all results to be within compliance, within required ranges. And I asked them for the name of this FDA-certified company and the January results, but I didn't get a response back.
Wow. And I know a federal judge recently ordered changes at Adelanto. What kind of evidence, if any, are you seeing that those changes are being implemented?
So I've been asking people detained inside Adelanto if any changes have been made since Judge Sunshine Sykes ordered these immediate changes inside Adelanto regarding conditions like with water, food, etc. People inside have told me that nothing has changed, that they are still receiving spoiled, undercooked food, water issues still persist, and they're still not getting adequate outdoor time. Honestly, people are afraid that they're going to die in there. Multiple people in recent months have told me that they're afraid they're going to be the next ICE in custody death because of how conditions are and how they're not getting better, even with these court changes. And they know about these court changes and try to tell people inside that work, they're like, "Hey, you guys are supposed to be improving these conditions." But one man inside actually told me that one facility worker told him nothing's going to change until ICE tells them to change something.
That's insane. What motivates you to keep going back to this story and report on Adelanto in particular? You know, you're based in LA. I imagine you're driving miles and miles at a time to visit folks in detention. What's the motivation that drives you to continue to put a spotlight on this?
I think it's so important. Reporting on these detention centers, it's about accountability of conditions and how taxpayer dollars that fund these facilities are being spent.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ryan. Thanks a lot for your reporting. Really appreciate it.
That was really good.
That was Ryan Mena, reporter with the Southern California News Group. Join us again next week for IE Latino Voices. You can find this segment and others on our website at kvcr.org/IE Latino Voices. IE Latino Voices is produced by KVCR Public Media and is funded by generous support from the Cielo Fund at IECF. For KVCR News, I'm Anthony Victoria.
That was really good.
For KVCR News, I'm Anthony Victoria. This is...
Okay, it's playing again. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is the one I wanted to listen to. The former mayor of San Bernardino. She passed away and she was Latina.
For KVCR News, I'm Anthony Victoria. This is IE Latino Voices, where we highlight the people, organizations, and stories shaping Latino communities across the Inland Empire. For today's episode, we're delving into the life, impact, and legacy of the late Judith Baez. Baez passed away last month at the age of 93. Baez, the former mayor of San Bernardino and lifelong public servant, was laid to rest Monday in front of family, friends, and community members. Throughout the service, one message was clear. Baez leaves behind a legacy rooted in service. People who knew her remember her as a mentor who inspired generations of leaders. Others saw her as a champion for education, culture, and music. Baez was born in 1933 to Mexican immigrants. She was one of 9 children who grew up on San Bernardino's west side during a time when Mexican families faced widespread discrimination. Here's Baez sharing her family's experience with KVCR and IECN in 2022.
My brother Mike went swimming, or wanted to go swimming, to Parasil, and he went with his buddy who was Italian. At the gate, they let the Italian in, but then they asked my brother, "Are you Mexican?" And he said, "Yes, Mexicans can only swim on Fridays." Fridays was the day and the evening where they emptied the pool and they put fresh water on Saturdays. So my brother couldn't swim because he was Mexican. And so he watched his buddy swim, and then they drove their bikes home, and then he told my father. My father was furious, I remember. Well, guess what? Contacted some attorneys, and we integrated the pool at Parasil.
Baez was describing the moment her father, Gonzalo Baez, Ignacio Lopez, and others challenged racial discrimination in San Bernardino. Their lawsuit, Lopez versus Secum, would later be cited in the landmark Brown versus Board of Education decision, which helped end legal segregation in public schools nationwide. Gloria Macias Harrison, a former trustee of the San Bernardino Community College District, who now runs KVCR, was also a friend and mentee of Baez, who she called Mama Judy. Harrison says Baez gave Chicanos like her and others on the west side the belief
you had something to aspire to, and so she provided that. Her whole family provided that. It was always of opening doors and then leaving the choice to the people that she helped to walk past the threshold.
Like Baez, Harrison graduated from San Bernardino High School before attending San Bernardino Valley College. She also followed her mentor into the classroom, teaching Spanish. But Harrison says Baez encouraged her to think beyond teaching, to build on her leadership as both an educator and a public servant.
I think the fact that our culture does not promote women in leadership roles. Although if you really look at families and even commercial endeavors on the west side, you find that the wife or the children, the women, have been very instrumental.
Baez taught Spanish at SBVC through 1984 and rose through the leadership ranks at the college until becoming president of Golden West College in Huntington Beach in 1988. She would later serve as president of Los Angeles Mission College before retiring in the 1990s. Diana Rodriguez, chancellor of the San Bernardino Community College District, says Baez helped shape her career. Rodriguez says Baez encouraged her to pursue leadership in higher education at a time when few Latinas held those positions.
When you asked how was she authentic or how was she instrumental, because she dared me to compete. She told me that I had potential just as she told others, and that she helped remove any doubt as to why we needed to do this work.
In 1998, Baez made history as the first Latina mayor of San Bernardino. She served 2 terms. Baez is credited with helping address the city's debt and expanding access to public amenities on San Bernardino's west side. After her tenure as mayor, Valles helped establish the San Bernardino Symphony and continued promoting the arts.
That's great.
Pat Morris, who served as mayor after Valles, says she epitomized the meaning of leadership.
She was a woman who set precedent, who led as an original. She listened to people. She understood the importance of team building. I can't say enough about her devotion to the welfare of this place. She called it home, and she made it home for all of us.
For those who knew her, Judith Valles' greatest legacy was not only the barriers she broke, but the people she inspired to walk through the doors she helped open. Join us again next week for IE Latino Voices. You can find this story and others on our website at kvcr.org/IE Latino Voices.
That was good.
IE Latino Voices is produced by KVCR Public Media. And
so, yeah, she had passed away recently, but it was just like such a great story. So, yeah, big shout out to Anthony Victoria at KVCR. They're doing great work out there. Okay. I think I'm going to end the stream here today, guys. I did want to wait for Worker Power Hour, but we'll just have to watch that on our own. So yeah, let's say goodbye for today and promise to be back later this week. Although today is already Wednesday, so yeah, I'm sorry, Bashona in a Box. I hope everyone has a good one. Have a good rest of your day. I will be back later with more. I've also been working on writing behind the scenes, so be prepared for really good articles coming out. And I do have I have one really big video in the works. So we have a lot of great stuff coming up, and a lot more of politicians to interview before the election season is over. All right, so have a good one, everyone. My name is Angelina Tucci. Thank you for joining me today. Have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, stay cool in the Southern California heat, and have a good one. Peace out, everyone.